Hello and welcome to
No, I'm not saying it, I'm saying it now.
Hello and welcome to the final series for softball, the Adelaide competition, A-grade women's. We're down to 3 teams. I'm joined by Lee Hull. Welcome, Lee.
Thank you, James. Good evening, everyone. And it's going to be a cracker of a night. It's the preliminary final, and if Heat bring the heat tonight like they did on Saturday, look out for West Torrens.
So the big clash is the West Torrens Eagles versus the Hills Heat. So far this year, head-to-head, West Torrens lead the battle 3 wins to 1 lead. Most recently, West Torrens had a 4-0 victory.
Yes, and that's significant in itself, James, but it's a preliminary final, and the winner goes on to the grand final on Saturday, which will be a cracking game. Whoever goes forward out of these 2 teams, and the loser, that's it for the season.
Well, let's talk about the road to the grand final. 1 team's already through. Walkerville Cats, they had a 3-2 victory over West Torrens on Saturday night.
Yes, and I didn't see that game because I was commentating on this game, the Hills Sturt game. So that must have been a great game.
1 run in it, and it was West Torrens' first loss for 2018. So they'll be looking to make amends tonight. They're the higher-ranked team, so they hold the home dugout and third base bench tonight. So they get the final chance to bat. Is that a significant advantage?
I wouldn't think so, not in a game which is not dictated to by time. So everybody gets the same amount of time. It's no rush. Both teams play at their own tempo and play the game as they want to. So no rush, 7 innings, or in the Mercy, which we know what the Mercy rule is.
Let's go over to first base dugout, or the away team. Hills Heat, they finished 3rd after the minor round, and they beat Sturt quite significantly, 11 runs to 4.
Yeah, they were fantastic. We did that game for Space Quake Sports, and so impressive they were in that first inning. 6 big runs. They come out tonking with a bat. And if they do the same thing against West Torrens tonight, the Eagles have got a fight right on their hands.
So Eagles finished top, Lee, in the minor round. Was it a hiccup on Saturday? Will you expect them to bounce back tonight?
Hiccup? No, I don't think so. To get beaten 3-2, and they had opportunities. I think from all reports, Kelsey Nucky's line drive, one cracking shot, and somebody's plucked it out of mid-air, and that might have turned the table. So I really do expect to see West Torrens make it through the grand final, and what a cracker it'll be.
All right, so we've got our tip from Lee. Let's look at the lineups just quickly. West Torrens, they've been forced to make a change. Emma Burridge unavailable tonight, which brings Faith Pickard, a true utility of the competition, Lee, into second base.
Straight swap there. Faith Pickard's a very good player, a quality young player, and she could fit into any position on the field except probably pitcher. And so
she played in the outfield on Saturday. So what's the change for West Torrens?
The change is that Amy Wheeler's come in the left field, Jackie Beale's at right field, centre fielder Alicia Marching remains in that position, her position, and Brodie Brovnik bats as a DP for Amy Wheeler.
So a couple of changes there, and a little different look to the Hills Heat as well from the team that played on Saturday night. They will see the return of veteran Michelle Davis.
Yes, and Michelle Davis, I have a lot of time for this girl, young lady. I saw her up in the Hills in one of their finals. I think it was the preliminary final, and she played at shortstop up there for the Harndorf side, and she was brilliant. And I'm looking forward to seeing how she goes out in the outfield.
Okay, so let's just finish up on players to watch. Obviously, Hills Heat have got two sisters in the team, Amber and Georgia Hood. Now, they both represented Australia at the Junior World Championships last July. They're the leaders of this team. Obviously, we're going to expect big things. Amber likes to get in and get dirty. She's a bit of a gritty type of bulldog-style player, whereas Georgia is raw power.
Yes, she is, and what a wonderful batter she is as well, Georgia. So don't get fooled because she's a pitcher. She is a fantastic hit of the ball, and they'll be dangerous.
Best player in Australia under the age of 19, Georgia Hood. West Torrens, of course, they'll be looking for leadership from their stars infielders, Jordan Lambert, Lana Kayser, both on the field and in the batter's box.
Yes, certainly, and their infield is the best infield collectively in this league.
Well, you can see behind us the teams are starting their warm-up. We'll be right back with the action in just a moment. Defensive there, and for Atkins. Grounds this up the middle, that's going to score a run. Louis scored two, then gets all the way out to the wall. Could this clear the ball? Pippa Atkins cuts third and goes back. Hey, what do you say? The Hills Heat are alive. Jordan Lambert rushes this one. It's going to split the outfielder. Lambert going to second, and it's going to be Field looking for home. Lambert steps in with a triple. We are just about ready to go. It's preliminary final night. These two teams, West Torrens Eagles, Hills Heat, playing for a spot in Saturday night's grand final. Waiting for them is the Walkerville Cats. Lee Hull, James Harris here for Spacequake Sports and Softball SA. And Lee, we've just watched the teams warm up. Looks like perfect conditions for softball. What are we expecting tonight?
Well, we're expecting a tight go to start with, I would think, James. As I said to you, it depends really on how the Heat attack this first couple of innings. If they attack like they did the other day, there'll be a big chance.
I was just about to say, Lee, they came out of the blocks on fire on last Saturday night against the Sturt Falcons, four-time premiership defending Sturt Falcons, and they just put them aside like they were the best team that's ever played the game. 6 runs before they had an out.
That's right, and they came out hitting. Whether it was the first pitch or not, they were after the ball.
We saw that, didn't we? We saw a lot of aggression early in the count. Tash Straps throwing a lot of strikes early, trying to get ahead of the count, but they were right up to the task. They were looking to hit the very first pitch to come down, and that's how they won the game.
Yeah, and they didn't give Tash time to settle it at all during the time she was out there, and Jaslyn Strangland came in and relieved her, but Tash could not get settled.
Damage was already done at that stage.
Yep.
Well, let's have a look. These teams are all in good spirits, aren't they? We saw some smiles from the West Torrens huddle prior to going out to the Diamond, and the Hills Heat dancing away to the background music that we've got here. They look relaxed. They look ready to go. Be interesting to see who comes out on top early.
Yes, exactly. I'd like to go around the field here for the defensive side of things for the Eagles, and the battery is Maddie Scott to Carly Allen. First base, Kelsey Nucky. Third base, Lana Kayser. At second base, it's Faith Pickard, and at shortstop, it's Jordan Lambert. And the guardians of the grassed area, at left field, it's Amy Wheeler. So big game for Amy, young player, playing out at left field in the preliminary final, so good luck to her. Alicia Marching holds down the centre field position, and Jackie Bill moves across to right field, which isn't a bad move. Got quick, good leg speed, might be able to get the 9 to 3s.
Yeah, the hitting power of the Hills Heat will surely see a few balls reach the outfield grass, and a quick outfield will be key for West Torrens. But the key for them the entire season has been their star-studded infield. They're missing Emma Burridge. We discussed that pre-game, but Faith Picard, junior Aussie squad member, will come in to second base. So we're about to get underway, Lee. Sorry to cut you off there. We'll go through the umpires as well. The boys in blue wearing their brand new shirts tonight. Neville Lawrence, World Baseball Softball Confederation Hall of Famer behind the plate. Damien McCauley, who has officiated at multiple World Championships. And on third base, Ian Gray. And leading off for the Hills Heat is their captain and leader of the team in Amber Hood.
And an extra base hitter she is at that, so when she hits it, it stays hit.
Maddie Scott fires one in, but it's a little high for a ball, so nerves will start to settle for Amber. Maddie will still be looking for that first one.
Maddie's been outstanding this season, an outstanding year for Maddie Scott.
Little low for a ball, so Amber getting herself into a good hitters count very early in the game. We've spoken of their aggression. I'm sure she'll be looking to hit now.
Yes, 2-0 count.
So there you go. So maybe a little nervous.
Maybe they're trying to make Maddie pitch a fair bit in this early part, initial stages of the game.
And that one is as close to the middle as you're going to get, Lee. 3-0 count. I know you'd be swinging on that one.
I'd be swinging on them all, mate.
I'd have a 3-1 count, though. Again, down the chute, as they say, Lee. Full count, so maybe the nerves have settled a little bit for Maddie Scott. She'll get herself into a rhythm now.
I think Amber will be swinging at this one.
And gets this one to second base. Faith Picard makes pretty good work of it, actually. She's got across to that ball, body over the top of it, and makes a pretty easy play. And
more importantly, she got a nice bounce at the end that just popped up beautifully.
Yeah, we spoke just to ourselves offline. It looks like a little bit of a dark patch at second base. It looks wet, but it's not. It's quite firm. There's just been a little bit of work done to it, so just a little discoloration in the dirt, so nothing to worry about there. You'll still get a true bounce. Okay, Emily Hopkins. So we spoke of the aggressive hitting early in the count. She swung at a high one and behind early. Very tight on that inside line.
That's what Emily did on Saturday, but she swung at the high pitch, the first pitch she received, and belted it out to the outfield.
That last one must have been high because she is standing very close to the line. It looked pretty good to me. 1-1, and that one was in the middle. Hopkins steps away as she swings on that one, and end result is a foul ball. So behind in the count now, so Maddie Scott in the position that she wants to be in now.
They've got to be working hard here, the Heat. They need to get on the board early, I'm suggesting.
One moves to the outside. Change up was the call, and that one bounces off the pads of catcher Carly Allen. So, you know, it's 2-2 count. There is one out. It's just a change of the ball that just distracted me there for a moment.
Yes.
Crowd is starting to build here, Lee. It's probably about an average crowd, but I'm sure we'll see it build as the night goes on. There is another game on tonight, Lee. It's not A grade, it's the B grade preliminary final as well. They're vying for a spot against the Walkerville B grade. So Walkerville went through an A and B grade. Glenelg Rebels and the Sturt Falcons.
Could be a good game.
Well, Hopkins again swings at that high one.
Likes them up high, doesn't she? Likes to have a go at that.
But she didn't get under it. She pulled that one straight into the ground.
Over the top of it. Yeah.
So Hopkins has been a great hitter for the Hills Heat this year. Last year, of course, at Seacombe as an emerging young player. This year, she's one of the leaders of the team.
Yes, she certainly is. And then she'll be followed in by Georgia Hood.
Great pitch from Maddie Scott. Caught Hopkins in two minds there. It was low in the zone, so it would have been called if she left it. And she just had a late swing at it and just ended up fanning at it.
Yeah, I think the tall players like the ball up a bit, and it's the low ones that causes problem.
Okay, 2 outs, and as you said earlier, Lee, if the Hills can bring the heat early, they'll put the Eagles on the back foot. But as they've been all year, they've been solid as a rock in defence. You got the first 2 outs. Hood swings
the outfield have immediately gone back further. They go back any further, they'll be behind the wire.
Well, within reason as well, because Georgia swings with power. She knows one way, Lee, and so if it's going to beat the infield, it's going to go the distance. It'll probably go to the fence.
Yep.
So they are giving her a few metres in the outfield. So a miss hit will see Hood advance, and that's low. Now Georgia's just been absolute rock solid powerhouse for the Hills Heat. 447 batting average, 561 on base average.
That's fantastic numbers, isn't it?
Amongst the team leaders in RBIs as well, and she's basically missed half the games because she can't play Wednesday nights as she has to travel from Mount Gambier. So,
and let's not lose sight of the fact of how young she is.
Still only 17 years of age, and the best player under the age of 19 in the country. She won the MVP at the National Championships early in the year. And for me, Lee, that was, although not intentional, yeah, we had the right count on the...
What's he like at school? How's the mask
Well,
going?
no, that's not her fault. She was told to advance from the plate umpire. The question was asked from the West Torrens dugout and conferred for the correct call of 3 and 1. So we had it right here on the Spacequake Sports screen. I was going to say, although not intentionally walked, as in put on base under the intentional walk rule, definitely throwing around her, not giving her anything to swing at, because if she gets one within her reach, it's going to go to the fence, trying to get her out chasing a bad pitch. They will not be disappointed with a walk here. She crushes this one though, Lee. It was high, it was out of the zone, but she was able to get her hands to it and just power that ball straight to centre field. Alicia Marchenk does the mopping up there and reduces it to just a single. So there you go.
And it hasn't hurt the Eagles at the moment because there's 2 out. Pippa Adkins, another dangerous batter, along with Danny Perez, who's in the batting on deck circle. So there's still some batting to come here.
Yeah, well, Pippa Atkins, as you mentioned, up to bat. Lee, you're known for your predictions in the game, but you don't need to have a crystal ball to know that Georgia Hood will get an intentional walk at some stage during this game, I'm sure.
That's true, and see how hard Pippa hit that ball. Went foul, but opposite field, that's power.
Atkins, amongst the competition's better first-year players. She's in the 4 spot, Lee. Like you normally put your powerful batter in this spot. So definitely an acknowledgement of her abilities, and there's no doubt about it, Lee. If you get one within her reach, she's going to make you pay.
And she's an aggressive player too, and coaches Hood and Hopkins would bring that to this team.
Called on the swing, Lee. She was behind in the count, so she had to protect her zone, and she went at a change-up low in the zone. And yes, you did, says umpire Lawrence. Plenty of experience and knowledge there, so you're not going to question that one.
No, he's an excellent umpire, and that's why he's a Hall of Famer in international and in Australia.
Well, West Torrens Eagles have got off to a good start. That's exactly what they would have wanted. I mean, they started Saturday night's semi-final against Walkerville very solid as well. They did give up the first run of the game, but then hit straight back, scored 2 and held the lead for the majority of the game. before giving up 2 runs a little later on, and the eventual result went the way of the Cats. So Eagles are strong starters, Lee.
Yeah, well, I'll just go around the green team's defence. I'll start with the outfield this time. At left field, it's Michelle Davis. Centre field, Emily Hopkins. And Steph Stewart is at right field. And defending the dirt, it's Georgia Hood pitching to Alex Mackey, Pippa Adkins at first, Kim Cutting at second, Danny Perez at third, and Amber Hood at shortstop.
Yeah, Amber Hood's move to shortstop after the Christmas break has been a bit of a revelation, really, because everyone automatically thought Aussie under-19 catcher in the Stars team as a catcher, sister of pitcher Georgia Hood, older sister of Georgia Hood as well, to try and keep her relaxed and steady and pitching to a plan. However, majority of the plays into the infield are ground balls, and so she's gone to shortstop. She's solidified that position, but full credit to Alex Mackey, she's made that position her own.
And she has, and last week she threw out Ada Caruana on the steal, which not many people do that.
Yeah, Ada leads the league in steals, and I reckon she's probably had that title for probably about a decade or so, Lee. She's got one of the fastest feet in the comp.
Yes, that's true.
Now, speaking of fast feet, it's Jordan Lambert. Now, the outfield are playing regulation, so if she can crack one through the gap and to the fence, she'll get extra bases, maybe even 3 or 4. But if she drops that running bunt, she'll be at first as well if that infield isn't in.
A lot of tricks up her sleeve, this batter. Jordan, she can do the lot. I think just about a complete player. I've said it before. I stick by that.
You won't get an argument from me, Lee. So, Aussie Spirit representative Jordan Lambert watches that one go past the outside edge for a ball and ahead of the count as well.
Yeah,
2
she
balls
shaped
and 1
as
strike.
if she was going to bunt. I don't think that was ever on that pitch.
Debuted for the Aussie Spirit in July. Late on that one a little bit, but she liked it, so she quickened up the hands a little bit and fouled it off down the right side. So I was just saying how she debuted for the Aussie Spirit in July at the USA World Cup of Softball and back-to-back tournaments played in the Canada Cup. So some great experience there. And then this summer, the national duties continued. The Denso Series here in Adelaide, the Asia Pacific Cup in Blacktown in New South Wales. High for ball 3 and to go to a full count. But she also did a tour of Japan. She did the Kochi City tour with a couple of her SA teammates as well. So very experienced internationally and one of the leaders of this Eagles team. Ball 4, and that is not what you want for Hills Heat. Lead off runner on first base. It makes it tough for them because you just know that if it's not a bunt, it's a steal coming up from Coach Gooley.
Yes, it's be interesting to see how they play it here, but I don't think Faith will be hitting away here. I think
well, Faith has been an amazing addition to the West Torrens lineup. She missed last year, sorry, the first part of the year with the ankle injury. You see she wears that ankle brace. But since coming back into the side, she's hitting .357, a .481 on-base average. She's the ultimate utility.
Yes, exactly.
Sort of fans at that one for a strike. It was almost a swinging bunt, Lee. Normally you hold your hands back for the bunt.
It didn't look much like a sacrifice. It looked like I'm going to get on as well then, but unsuccessful.
1-1 count. This time she gets a sacrifice bunt down, but it goes foul. Well, did you see Lambert there? She turned aggressively at second base, looking for extra bases on that bunt, Lee.
And she would have got there.
Wow, she was motoring. Maybe taking her time to get back to the base, to catch some breath back, maybe recover in the legs before she takes off on this one. So
two strikes, will they go the bunt again here? Or is it going to be the steal?
Low
It's gonna be a
and
hit above
drops
the ball.
it. Faith is automatically out as the runner was occupying first base.
Just
Stolen
exercising
base.
your leg then.
Stolen base to Jordan Lambert. Lambert unopposed. So we now have the lead runner on second base. There's one out, and up to bat is Kelsey Nucky. Now, Lee, Emma Burridge has been hitting 3. Do you think if Kelsey gets a couple of shots tonight and they advance, she will return to third, or do you think Kelsey will hold up here?
It's hard to say.
I know it's hard to predict, seeing as we don't know if they're going to advance or not, because Hills Heat got the momentum out of the two teams because they had a win on Saturday. But we go back to Kelsey Nucky. She has been on fire this half of the year. She's lifted her batting average to 301. She's on base 429. This is a stolen base attempt, and the throw is high. And in the foot race to third base between the shortstop and the runner, it was the runner that beat it out. So, well, now there's plenty of options here for West Torrens. You could bunt to advance the runner. You could pop fly or a sacrifice fly to score the runner. A pass ball scores the runner. An infield single to the right side scores the runner. But this one goes to the shortstop. Amber has to pick it up on the second hop and fires it across. Plenty of time as well. So she held up the runner on third. That was worst case scenario for the Eagles. Kelsey Nucky's infield shot is cut off by Hood, and the Hills have now got 2 outs.
Nothing Jordan could do about that. Is just, there was no chance of even her quick feet taking her home before the subsequent second play.
All right, options now scoring for the Eagles reduce here with 2 outs. Can't score on the sacrifice fly anymore, and any balls to the infield will just be an automatic play over to first base. So let's see if Lana Kaiser can come up for the goods. Now, usually she's at home watching on Wednesday nights from Kadena, but tonight she's in the lineup. Obviously, the importance of the final. Crushes this one up the middle. It's going to score a run. The ball didn't bounce on that second hop. Did you see that, Lee?
I did.
And it got away from Amber Hood, so it's a RBI single to Lana Kaiser. West Torrens draw first blood.
Yes, they're on the board. And Lana, dare I say, was a little bit happy with that hit, actually.
Yep, the replay showed that second and awkward bounce, and Amber a little disappointed in herself that she didn't get a good read on that, but not much she could do about that.
No, I don't think so.
Kaiser, of course, would be stoked. So, Carly Allen up to bat. Power in this middle lineup for West Torrens.
Carly Allen's as good a up the middle hitter as there is around in this competition, James.
403 batting, 630 on base average. She's been an absolute standout catcher in this competition this year.
Yes. She just wait for the pitch she wants.
Not only contributing with the bat, Lee, she's fielding 990.
That's reasonable.
25 hits for the year, 18 RBIs. She gets her walks as well. She's had 6 walks and 3 hit by pitches this year. Dribbles this one over to Pippa Atkins at first base, and that makes the third and final out of the bottom of the first inning. So West Torrens Eagles lead, get on the board early. They score the first run courtesy of the Lana Kaiser RBI single. And the Hills will have to bounce back now.
Yes, they will, and we need a reply, a quick reply from Hills to keep in the game.
Just watching that statewide super replay here, Kaiser she was going on that pitch no matter what. You saw that on the replay. She was not holding back. It was a little higher in the zone, and yet giving a wave to the dugout. So Kaiser with the early RBI. That's part of the West Torrens fan club over on the left field line, and I'm pretty sure everyone will be happy to get the nerves out of that. First inning's always a tough one. You're always fired up that little bit extra in the first inning, and
yeah, you
get
can't
that out of
out
the way
there quick enough.
Yeah.
You've thought about it all day, whether you've been at work or at school. It's always on your mind. So to get going, get the adrenaline going. And Jordan certainly did that with 2 stolen bases. Fantastic running. Put himself in the position to score, which he did on the hit.
11 stolen bases for the year, another 2 just then.
Tells the story in itself.
All right, Pippa Atkins it is for the Hills Heat. She'll lead off the second inning.
Or Danny Perez even.
What did I say, Lee?
Pippa Atkins.
Pippa Atkins. Danny Perez. Apologies. Goes after that first pitch. It's Lambert and Picard were trying to negotiate that one. It split the middle of them and perhaps just took her eye off the ball right at that last moment as they were both going for it. The replay will tell the story. Off the end of the handle and just out of the reach of Lambert. She'll be disappointed with that one. And
looking up into the lights, perhaps, James, just at the last minute. Who knows?
She won't make any excuses for that. Again, the first pitch, it's Kim Cutting this time. Lambert tries to make the play, but Cutting beats it out. It deflected off the glove of Lana Kaiser. Lambert tried to come up with the play, but Cutting just beat it. And the Hills Heat are rolling runners on first and second. Here's the replay from Cutting. Again, it's out of the zone, so Perez and Cutting, both their pitches were slightly high, but they both went after first pitch. Whoa, Cutting just got way off the base there, and if there's anyone that's going to try a pick off at Dana, it's Carly Allen. She's got one of the best pickoffs in the competition. Perez didn't get as deep in her leadoff as what Cutting did, and
Carly's big advantage at throwing is because she throws from the shoulder, doesn't have a wind-up, just throws with her brute strength and gets it down the line very quickly. But now they're surely going to have to bunt the ball down here.
Well, Mackie squared to bunt first pitch, and she's done it successfully this time. That is going to be safe for the runners every day of the week, perfectly placed. Kelsey Nucky had no choice but to play first base, so the sacrifice bunt is successful with both runners advancing. Now, Steph Stewart up to bat. Hills Heat have got 2 chances to score. These runners get back straight back into the game.
Well, it was a terrifically executed bunt by Alex. Didn't give Kelsey a chance to look at the other 2 runners on base, and so she had to play the routine out.
First pitch again, Lee. Steph Stewart this time, hitting 250 with a 409 on-base average. She's been very serviceable for the Hills Heat, a part-time player, starting in the preliminary final. Low for a ball, so she's 1-1. That'll help the nerves. I've said it a couple of times now, Lee. It's there's no doubt about it. Every player will have a little bit of the butterflies in the stomach, at least until they get into the game. And this is Steph's first foray.
And it doesn't matter whether you're young or whether you're old. You still have the nerves. It's how you deal with them is what happens.
Obviously, you can have different types of nervous energy, I guess, positive or negative, but in this instance, in this A-grade competition, they're all, you know, going to be experienced enough over their softball careers to have played in perhaps, you know, 1 or 2 finals, if not more. But it's always is another story when you get to your next one.
That's right. In the preliminary final, there's a lot hanging on it.
Way outside, the West Torrens infield like the look of it, but it's now a full count on Stewart. 2 runners in scoring position. That's foul. And well called from umpire Lawrence, but equally as impressive was Lana Kaiser. She tried to make the out at home, and it looked like it would have been a very close call, but Perez has got dirty for no reason. She's back
it's all good practice though, isn't it? No, he was in, umpire Lawrence, being the experienced man he is, was in perfect position to see that, as we saw in the replay.
Stewart, that's an awkward one, has popped up. It had a lot of backspin on it, but Maddie Scott aggressively and quickly got over to that ball. She sprinted over there, fielded the ground ball off 1 bounce. Let's have a look at the replay there. Another inside pitch on Stewart. firing it across. Gee, she's got a powerful arm, Lee.
An excellent out that was from Maddie.
So usually a shortstop. First pitch again. This one's popped up to the catcher. Carly Allen gets across to make the out. 2 cheap outs for West Torrens. Gets them out of trouble with 2 runners in scoring position. And they stop the advancements of the Hills, who started that inning on fire. 2 pitches, runners on first and second. Sacrifice bunt moving their runners to second and third, Lee, but that's all she wrote.
Yeah, and I think that situation with 2 runners in scoring position and 2 out, that's the operative phrase, 2 out, I'd be taking a few pitches. I don't think I'd be going for the first pitch.
Yeah, well, Stewart went to a full count, and I was going to suggest perhaps a more experienced player may have even left that one, seeing the backspin, but take no chances in a final, Lee. Let's get that ball, let's make that out, and that's exactly what Maddie Scott did.
Yep. What a perfect night for softball. No breeze, no dew on the grass.
It's a great atmosphere, Lee. The crowd is lining the foul lines. I can see some supporters on each side. The grandstand is probably about 3/4 capacity as well, and it's very exciting. We're in finals mode. It's finals time. It's always the best time of year. A little sad knowing that the season's about to come to an end and the cold, long winters ahead of us, but you know, we all managed to keep ourselves busy.
It is what it is, mate.
All right, so West Torrens pitcher Maddie Scott is up to bat now, and she's got a 1-1 count at the moment. Now, Georgia Hood yet to stamp her authority on the game. Normally, she's well involved in the action already. That one is in there for a strike. So
that's a great pitch, isn't it? Thrown with control, just took a bit of the pace off.
She did get a strikeout in the first inning, and so got the strikeout count up, but she gave up a hit and a walk, so she'll be looking to improve on that. Now Maddie Scott gets this ball into the gap, an awkward bounce for right fielder Stewart, and Maddie Scott will stand up at second. The ball just getting away from the Hills heat. Another wave to the dugout, so the base runners are really showing their excitement and enthusiasm from when they get on. They really are getting behind one another, the West Torrens Eagles, whereas Hills Heat, they look a little quiet.
Yeah, there's not much they could do about that, the outfield. It was just in between the 2 outfielders, right and centre.
Marching squares to bunt. Emily Hopkins covers from centre field. That play was never on, because if you miss the fielder, it's an automatic run, just about. It's so Maddie Scott will look to get off to another aggressive lead-off here as the pivots will break either side. And that wild pitch will ensure she stands up safely at third. So that one getting away from Alex Mackey. So
good as a bunt, wasn't it?
Yeah, runner on third now for Alicia Marchink, and you'd think with 3 chances to score this runner from third that West Torrens will extend their lead in this second inning. Marchink leaves that one, looking a little high to start, but drops into the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Hood in a good position here. She won't want to keep it close. Anything for Marchink to hit, not at least for the next 1 or 2 pitches. And gets her second strikeout victim for the game. That had a little bit of heat on it, Lee.
Certainly did, James. Next hitter is Jackie Bill.
So,
batting left-handed on this too.
I was just going to say, Lee, in the left-handed batter's box, now normally known as a right-handed hitter, but has done the job from the left-hander's box, including on Saturday night against Gabby Schneider. Drops down that running bunt to perfection. Really puts offensive pressure on the Hills heap, but a great play from Danny Perez at third. Fires it across to first base, Pippa Atkins. And now with 2 out in pretty quick fashion, the Eagles are down to their last chance to score that runner for this inning. What a great
play from the 2 young green team members. Perez, the Adkins, Yeah, that's pressure. They were up to it.
Yeah, Atkins and Perez both in youth Aussie squads last year. We're awaiting the Aussie squads for this year. No doubt they'll feature. Speaking of young Aussie representatives, Brodie Borovnik, an Aussie youth squad member in Lacrosse League.
Yeah, fantastic. I've seen her play that sport. She is fantastic at it. She's got some work to do here now because there's 2 out, and there's the second run waiting there at 3rd.
Now, Borovnik's come into the team, Lee, for Emma Burridge, or half the team that's come in for Emma Burridge. The flex player is Amy Wheeler, who's playing in the outfield, and she's coming in as the DP, so she's hitting for Emma Burridge.
Wouldn't she just like to get a hit now? Even a miss hit will score a run.
And very patient and good batting, good pitch selection with a 1 ball and 2 strike count. You get behind the count early and sometimes you're chasing that bad pitch, but she had some good composure there, Lee.
And with 2 out, like the same with Hill's innings.
Well, this one's hit out to right field. It is Steph Stewart under it and completes the catch. So what a great defensive innings for Hills Heat. Maddie Scott got a ripper of a shot out to the right field, opposite field for her, so she took on the fielder who got a bad bounce, stood up at second, advanced at third on a wild pitch with none out, and the Hills Heat defended and held them at bay.
Yeah, and despite all that, I think Brodie Borovnik will take something out of that. Got good bat on the ball. I mean, if it drops in, well, there's another run. Doubles the score.
So after 2 innings, Lee, it's West Torrens holding on to a lead of 1 run to 0. Now, we see Jackie Beale on screen now, Amber Hood. Both teams have gone through 9 batters in the 2 innings, but it's just West Torrens have taken advantage of that. Now let's go on to screen here. We're doing our classic plays here. It's the double plays this time. We did home run shilling on Saturday. It's the best double plays of the year. Ground ball to third base. Great pick up by Krasinski, and it's a double play. Play A was Hills Heat. Play B was the Glenelg Rebels. Double plays are fantastic action. Here we go again. Cara Schultz grounding out to Danny Perez, who fired it across to Pippa Adkins for the double play. Amber Hood tagging out Steph Hull at home. And the Glenelg Rebels. This was just last week, Lee. We saw Sophie Hoyle play her own base and fire it across
from Steph, wasn't it?
Steph Trzynski at first. And that ended the game, Lee. That was Glenelg's 3rd win of the year and a double play to finish the game. What a great play. So don't forget, head to our Facebook page, vote on our poll for the best double play of the year. Back to the action, and it's Amber Hood who had 1 ball on her and swung at the next one, fouling it off to the right side. It's a 1-1 count, and Lee, this battle between Scott and Hood has a little personal just sorry about that. It's a ground ball to shortstop. Jordan Lambert, who gets it across to first base, Kelsey Nucky. Cat had my tongue there for a moment there, but just a personal rivalry is the words I was looking for, Lee, as Amber and Maddie are very close friends, family friends. The Hood family and the Scott family.
Okay, excellent take from Kelsey Nucky then. Terrific first base player in our competition.
Low for Emily Hopkins, and ball 1, Carly Allen taking the opportunity to call time out and have a talk to her young pitcher. So the first out, that was Jordan Lambert, who fielded the ground ball against her opposing number, Amber, who is playing shortstop for the Hills and Stars teammates as well. So very close-knit community, the softball community. You don't have to go too far to see someone that you know, and no doubt they've spent some social time together as well.
Yes, I'm certain that's the case.
So Maddie Scott just struggling to find her rhythm here on Emily Hopkins. She's 2 balls. Hopkins smashed that one on a great catch. Plana Kaiser, reminiscent of Gemma Cochran from a few weeks ago. The ball ripped down the third baseline. She throws the glove up at it, and there it sticks.
Isn't that the nature of our sport, James? You can rip the ball like that and get out, then you can miss-hit it, couple
Great
of fumbles
angle.
and you get a double.
Great angle from Spacequake Sports, and G. Kaiser looked like she had no trouble with that one whatsoever. What a great play. Lana Kaiser, 2 quick outs.
Lana likes the ball coming to her, even on the little bunts. You know, anything that's really slow, she'd have more trouble with that than what she does with the quick shots. And so that's a reflex position playing at third.
You have the hot corner. They don't call it the hot corner for nothing.
No, they don't.
And she can handle the heat on that one. Anyway,
very good, James.
So we've got Georgia Hood now, the number 3 batter in the heat lineup. Was aggressively going after that first one and has got herself into a good hitters count here, 2 balls and 1 strike. Just confirming the count with her mother, Tanya, mother and coach on third base there, Tanya Hood. 2 balls and it's back to a hitters count here. So let's see if Hood goes for this one. And it's high out of the zone. So she's a great batter, Lee. I watch her. I'm in awe of her when she bats, and she's just 17 years old. She goes about it with no fear, and she just throws her hands at that ball. She's got such power. Great hitters count and attack that one. She just got a little under it there, fouling it off into the back net. So maybe a bit of a let-off for West Torrens League.
I tell you what, for such a powerful, big, powerful hitter, she has got a lot of patience. She doesn't just chase anything.
That one down the middle, and she smashes this one out to the right side. It gets past the right fielder, Jackie Bill, as she dove for the ball, but she was quickly onto that one, firing it in. Georgia Hood rounded second, watching coach Tanya Hood telling her to hold up, and she was off her base at the time, and the throw came in. We'll see that on the replay here. She got back up quickly. She fired it in, and watch this, Lee. Just got past the fielders, and if it went straight to them, Georgia was in no man's land.
Yes, I think if Georgia had kept running then, Tanya would have made her run all the way back to Mount Gambier, I'd suggest.
Okay, Hood in scoring position on second base. Now she's pretty quick around the base as well, so an outfield shot. She'll be looking to score here. Pippa Adkins up to bat. Ground is out to the pitcher, and that is the 3rd out of the inning. Got ahead of myself there. It was a ground ball back to the pitcher, and then well played from Maddie Scott to get the throw over. This is the replay of the shot. Gee, that just got out of her reach. The ball must have tailed right at the last moment there, and she just got a misread.
Yeah, I noted then that Georgia didn't move off the base when it was the 3rd out then. Interesting. I thought you would have been going on that, just in case the ball wasn't caught.
Yeah, or an overthrow.
Yep. Still, easy from here.
Well, we're halfway through the 3rd inning here, Lee, and Hills have got runners on base all 3 innings so far, and failed to score yet. But it's you know, West Torrens in control, if you ask me. I mean, they've defended well. They've looked promising in the box both innings, the 1st and the 2nd innings. They've got runners on base as well, and they're just going about it the West Torrens way at the moment.
Yes, and they're at the top of the lineup with Jordan again, so need a tight innings from the green team here.
Jordan Lambert to lead off the 3rd batting innings for West Torrens, and she was the Eagles' original lead-off, fouling that one off, going after the 1st pitch.
I think I'd be going running bunt now, this next pitch. Myself. So everybody's expecting her to hit it. What a surprise.
And perfectly executed. That one straddled the line the entire way till it come to a halt. Even before first base player Pippa Atkins could get to the ball, it travelled a few metres and then stopped Let's watch that replay. Great running bunt, excellent execution there from Lambert. Runner on first for the Eagles is Lambert. There's none out, and
need the bunt again here.
And Faith Picard will be looking to advance the runner here. Well, Lambert stole two in the two bases, her first turn at bat. Here we go, sacrifice bunt attempt. Lambert takes off. That's obstruction there from the shortstop, so she's going to be safe regardless. Obstruction the call, so shortstop Amber Hood impeded the runner in Lambert. So let's watch the replay again. Great sacrifice bunt. Georgia Hood does the fielding, firing it across to first base, cutting the second base, throws it across. The tag was made from Perez. This angle will show it. Lambert takes off on the pitch, makes sure the ball goes down safely. She turns second. We just lost the vision, but it was obstruction on the shortstop player, the call. Let's see if we can get it here. Again, the bunt. Hood makes the play. Again, we just miss it from all angles.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Kim Cutting, she just took too long to get the ball across the dot. I think Jordan was going to be cold had she thrown the ball straight away.
Well, the tag was made, so it was an out. However, the obstruction from the shortstop as Lambert was rounding second, it allowed her to advance to third base with no contest, really.
Yeah. Understand that, but it's just something I picked up.
Good play from Cutting, good play from the Hills, but unfortunately for them, Lambert is safely on third. So great sacrifice bunt from the Eagles player in Faith Picard, and we saw another bunt attempt, so third bunt attempt for the inning, and it was a squeeze.
It was certainly a squeeze because the runner was down the line, Jordan.
So 2 strikes now on Eagles hitter Kelsey Nucky. Now she has behind in the count, so she'll be trying to protect here. Goes opposite field. This is going to score a run if it's caught or not. Nucky gets the single over to the right field of the Hills Heat. The second run of the ball game, an RBI single to Kelsey Nucky.
And Lambert scored both those runs so far.
Nucky looking to protect, outside pitch, he goes with it opposite field. It stays in play, just a slight fumble from Stewart at right field, but that didn't matter because the runner didn't advance, but the runner was always going to score on that. So Kelsey Nucky with the RBI. And here's the other RBI hitter from the first inning, Lana Kaysler, up to bat for the Eagles, and Lee, the signs are ominous for the hit.
Yes, they are, James.
Georgia Hood into the motion. She's going to fire up here, and she still has a little bit of bounce in her at the moment, so it's good signs for the Hills that she's still got her head in the game because she's the key for them, that's for sure.
Yes, and Kelsey Nucky would be really pleased with that opposite field hit then. Safe hit scoring a run.
Lana Kaysler watches that one low, and behind in the count, that's a good turn at bat, a change of pace as well. Lana Kaysler's hitting 386 this season with a 560 on-base average. We've heard our co-commentator Eric Bolnar mention it before. 7 of their starting players for the Eagles have an on-base average of 400 or better. Kaysler smashes this one, it's high in the zone. Steph Stewart gets under it and takes a catch. Kelsey Nucky was halfway between first and second, as all good base runners should be for a pop-up fly ball with less than 2 outs to the outfield, and just in case she dropped it, she could have taken off, but if the catch was made, she can get back to the base safely.
Yeah, it was hit deep, wasn't it, by Lana, so she's certainly getting back the ball with some power tonight.
Yeah, so successive batters going right side. Carly Allen hits this one into the karaoke gap. This one bounces off Michelle Davis at left field off her leg. Amber Hood is the cutoff position, but the run's going to score from first. Kelsey Nucky with a massive smile on her face. It's the 3rd run for the Eagles. Carly Allen stands up at second. There'll be a courtesy runner. Here comes Lambert. The Eagles are rolling here, Lee. They've got all the momentum. Let's watch this replay. Amber took a step up towards second.
Yeah, she did. She broke
and
early.
she was caught cheating. Michelle Hudson Davis took her eye off the ball, and it bounced away from her, allowing Nucky to score. Nothing they can do about that, Lee, except make sure you play the ball first.
That's it. Ball first, play second.
That one just at the bottom edge of the zone, and Maddie Scott laying off that one, but Georgia Hood finding a great spot to get straight back into the count. Hills are now 3 runs down, and they need to get out of this inning in a hurry. Oh, Alex Mackey takes a good take.
That was a terrific take. Yes. Yes, you get caught breaking early at shortstop. That's where the ball went then, didn't it? Where she came from.
High and out of the zone for another ball. So 2 balls and 1 strike now. Surprised that there's been no action from the runner on second yet?
Well, I don't think so. I think what Hills need to do is get out of this innings right now with this batter.
Scott fouls that one, and it comes behind the catcher and Mackey. So, but what I meant, Lee, was Lambert stole 2 bases her first turn at bat. She got on base safely from a running bunt, and then took 2 bases the next batter on the next bunt. You know, her speed is her asset. It's been on show tonight already.
Perhaps she's just getting her breath back, James, or perhaps they're just going to play the percentages here.
Yeah, full count for Maddie Scott. So maybe Gooley just leaving a couple of tricks in his bag in case they advance on Saturday night.
I'm sure he will.
Or for later in the game. Scott smashes this one up the middle. Kim Cutting. She stabbed at that one, didn't she, Lee? It wasn't a conventional play. She had her glove up high and she reached down for it as it was on the move. And a pretty good play in the end. It wasn't textbook, but she affected the out and made it the 3rd out of the 3rd inning for the West Torrens Eagles, but not before they score 2 and extend their lead to 3, and it's 3 runs to 0. Just so impressed with both teams so far tonight. That one play was costly when Amber broke left looking for that runner, and then Michelle Davis taking her off the ball as well. So that was only 1 run. We got Amy Wheeler on screen there, Lee. She's one of the players that's coming from a Burridge. I'm sure she'll be watching from Port Lincoln tonight. So g'day, Emma. I'm sure you're cheering from your room.
And Amy's probably thinking out there at left field, when is the ball coming out here? When do I get a catch? When do I get one? Well, maybe this innings.
So Danny Perez, the next batter for the Hills Heat. She led off the 2nd inning, Lee. So she's going to lead off the 4th here for the Hills. She reached on that muff fly ball, just a little miscommunication from the infield, and it was first pitch as well. This time, first pitch grounds out to Kelsey Nucky. So Kelsey's had a good game, a reasonably good game so far, Lee.
Certainly has. I'm thinking I'm taking a few pitches though. When I'm behind by 3, I'm thinking, make the pitcher work.
Well, let's not forget, Lee, it's the Hills Heat first season in this A-grade competition. 2 years ago, they played B-grade.
Well, we mustn't lose sight of that.
They had a year off, but they've collected themselves. They built a team, and now they're back and they're playing A-grade. So relatively inexperienced side at this level of competition, but they're in the preliminary final. So at worst, they'll finish 3rd. At best, they can still win it. They can still come first. But the inexperience, as you just said, looking to take a couple of pitches when you're chasing 3, and there's still plenty of softball left in this game. But it was Kim Cutting this time. She swung first pitch as well. But watching that one to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Fouling that one off.
Well, Maddie Scott's a young pitcher, and I think I would be putting as much pressure on her as I could, you know, by taking pitches and not just going the first pitch, because pitches they just love it when batters go the first,
playing into their hands.
The first pitch.
Yeah. So Kim Cutting for the Hills Heat chops this ball, but it's well fielded from Maddie Scott. Just a hard ball between the legs, and she's taken it well. She knocked it down, made the play, and that is 2 quick outs. And the Eagles
and the youth
are
of
flying.
Scott told them, because she was right up to it, right down on top of the ball, and excellent out.
Alex Mackey up to bat, and the star of the Hills Heat in the Facebook promo, thanks to Spacequake Sports. Have you seen that, Lee?
I have.
Got that cheeky look on her face, the eyebrow raise. She's getting a cult following, Lee.
Got that cheeky look, sounds like a catcher to me.
Swings and misses at that one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Played an A-grade season with Seacombe last season. Got to catch to the great Jade Peterson, who had another successful year this year, over 160 strikeouts, and but no doubt she'd be disappointed with the way the Tigers finished this year.
I wonder whether she'll go on again next year, Jade.
That is anyone's guess. We'll wait and see. I'm not even sure if Jade knows the answer to that one. Let's get back to the action here. Alex Mackey, 2-2 count. High for ball 3. So that's exactly what you were asking for, Lee. Let's see a few pitches. She's gone to a full count, so she probably can't see many more.
Yeah,
Lee.
That's the first time I saw that particular pitch get thrown by her.
Diamond's looking terrific tonight, by the way, and
excellent batting.
An acknowledgement to the Diamond Sports crew and Andrew Scott. And timeout called for the courtesy runner. Pippa Adkins will come in and run for catcher Alex Mackey. So great turn of bat from Alex. Composed, she took her time, but you know, there's already 2 outs, and Hitchy Hills would have loved it if there were some runners on there and advance the runner from a walk. Let's see what Steph Stewart can do for the Heat. Squared up to bunt to probably protect the runner, but what a throw from Carly Allen. Fires that across to second, gets the runner coldly. That was by miles. Let's have a look at the replay here. Stewart squares up to bunt to protect the runner, pulls out, but what a great throw and play from the Eagles.
Her quick throwing action, Carly Allen. Throws it from the shoulder, no big wind up.
Great take from shortstop Lambert and makes the tag play. Well done. So we're halfway through the 4th inning now, Lee, and West Torrens Eagles definitely have a stranglehold on the game at the moment. It's by no means out of reach for the Hills Heat, but they need to get out of this inning without too much damage and then apply some scoreboard pressure of their own.
Exactly, and it's not a time game, so there's no hurry about this. Just do it 1 run at a time.
Yeah, we're about 50 minutes into the game as well, so we're probably on scheduled for a 90-minute game, but time has got no impact on this one.
Irrelevant
at all. Okay, Alicia Marchenk to get things going for the West Torrens Eagles, and she's happy to watch one go past, so she sees a strike. Former state under-19 representative Alicia Marchenk. Recently graduated from the police force.
Oh, okay.
Police Academy. She'll be looking to serve and protect the West Torrens lead here right now, Lee.
And arrest this situation.
But it's Georgia Hood who's got her handcuffed at the moment. Low in the zone and ahead of the count now, Lee. Two balls and 1 strike.
So I was lost for words then, James, with your wit. Not that I didn't think you were capable, it's just taken a while to come.
fouls that one off. Marchenk evening the count at 2-2. That was a good hitter's count. And she'll be looking to protect the zone and drive the ball opposite field if it's outside. And that's where Mackie goes. And it's low for a ball, so full count. Great turn at bat from Marchenk. She's seen a few pitches. She's had a swing at one. Gets her composure here and slightly opens the stance a little. Dropped the hands first, then took her hands to the ball, so she just slows that swing down a little bit with a little hitch. So you probably don't want to throw it down in the zone against Marchenk here.
No, I don't think.
High, so she got the right pitch, but she missed the location this time, Georgia Hood. And Marchenk on board. What a great turn at bat, Lee.
Yes, and we're going to see Jackie Beale bat right-handed box this time.
Well, she executed that running bunt to perfection last time. I mean, yeah, it went to the third base, straight to the third base player, and that's probably the last place Coach Gooley wanted it to go, since the runner was on third. But she got from the back of the box to the front of the box, so she didn't get out batting out of the box. It hit the middle of the bat and went straight down into the dirt. She did everything right. Still a bunt situation as well. Maybe that element of surprise goes out the window now, knowing that she is capable of doing that. So actually pretty smart from Coach Gooley. Get her back in the right-handed batter's box. Now she's got a couple of options, whether it's bunt or hit away. Now she's got no choice but to swing here, squares to bunt. She'll pull it back and try and slap the ball. Wow! What a surprise there, Lee. A two-strike bunt attempt that was executed perfectly. First base player, Pippa Atkins, comes down to fielder, or was that Georgia Hood that time? Lee, I'll just have a look for you. It was the out was made nevertheless, and advancing Alicia Marchenk on two strikes, Lee, on a bunt attempt. Very brave, great coaching decision there from Gooley.
Great control.
Obviously has such confidence in his players to be able to execute a high pressure play like that. We've seen the squeeze bunt attempt. We've seen a few running bunt attempts. We saw that one there, bunt attempt with two strikes. He really does put the control of the game into his batter's hands, and he backs them the whole way.
That's right, and that's how it is, isn't it? Because you can't do it for them. You just give them the signal, they do it, they execute it. You look like $1 million.
Yeah, well, there's a reason they're top of the ladder, Lee, and there's no doubt about it that Coach Gooley has had a role to play in that. Brovnik smashes this one opposite field. It's just going to go right off the foul line, and Steph Stewart was thinking, go foul, go foul, go foul, as she watched that one sail through the air. It went like a laser beam, Lee.
Well, Brody showed in her first turn at bat that she had the power, and then she got a bit more depth in. Now she's got to get in the field of play.
Okay, so going from that swing, we're not putting it up in the zone or in the outside. Let's see where she goes here. Inside this time, off the end of the handle. Danny Perez comes across to make the play. Brovnik nearly beats it out. But because it's gone left side, a runner's not going to advance. But what a good turn at bat from Brodie Brovnik.
Yes, I think she's
been solid so far,
isn't she?
Yeah, for sure. All right, back to the top of the lineup for the Eagles. We saw Lambert walk in her first turn at bat. She had a running bunt her second turn at bat. Will she swing away here with 2 outs?
I think that answer is in the affirmative.
Watching that one through for a called strike, so good patient batting. Making sure she gets the pitch that she wants. Hood into her motion. And that is down and in on Lambert for a ball. She looks in control, doesn't she? She looks composed and in control. She knows she's got a responsibility here to advance, if not score this runner from second base. Have a look at that determination.
Difficult batter to pitch to.
outside for a ball. That was well off the plate. That was on the left-handed batter's box chalk line there. And other than that, the height was probably okay. 2 balls and 1 strike. Gets a low pitch, hits it to the right side. And Steph Stewart's dropped that one. Lambert will take full advantage of that one and stand up at second base. But it's Alicia Marchenk who took off on the hit and scores on the play. A 4th run for West Torrens. Unfortunately for the Hills Heat, it's off another error with 2 out, and 4 runs have now crossed the plate for West Torrens, and that was the score and the result the last time these 2 teams met, 4-0 in favour of the Eagles.
Yes, it's only the bottom of the 4th too, so danger signs here. Looked like it was a reasonably easy catch. I mean, looked like it from here.
Well, we saw one tail away from Jackie Beale earlier in the game, so perhaps the conditions aren't as still as what we can see them to be. Maybe there's a little bit of breeze in the air that's affecting that, because a couple of plays have been misread from the right side tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 balls. The count on hitter Faith Picard. She has struck out and sacrificed bunt in her second turn. So she'll be looking now to contribute to the team and try and score the runner from second base, as Lambert did, the batter prior. Picard smashes this one. This one's also to the right side. She gets a better read on it this time. Did you see that ball's tailed away again?
It did.
So there's something in the air tonight, Lee, and can you feel it? Perhaps you can or perhaps you can't. It's okay. 4-0. The lead now for West Torrens. Thanks for the smile, but I got no support on that one. But I did from the scorer's box. Thank you, Lindy, for that one there, our official statistician. Right on the ball tonight. So after 4 complete innings, West Torrens lead 4-0. Lee, can the Hills get back into the game?
Well, they're going to have to shortly, James.
Great input as normal, Lee. Thanks for covering there. Not even a chance to grab a sip of water, but you know, we can see that the Eagles are bouncing at the moment, Lee. They went out there, they have got a spring in their step, and they are well in control of this game. We're in the top of the 5th inning. So the Hills Heat have got 12 outs to get 4 runs back at least and hold the soaring Eagles.
Has to start here, doesn't it?
Okay, so Steph Stewart was in the box when Pippa Atkins was thrown out in the last inning. Interesting, with 2 out chasing 3 runs, that you steal the runner, or would you prefer that the Hills stay to the game they know? That's the aggressive gameplay.
I think that's what's got them here to this point tonight, and I think they've just got to go with it.
Well, since day one of this 17-18 season, when they beat the Walkerville Cats in emphatic style, I think it was 10-0 or something, the very first game of the year, everyone thought, gee, the Hills are going to be the team to beat. They were aggressive in the batter's box. They backed up their pitcher well. You know, you said it just then. They've done it all year. That's what's got them here. I don't see them changing their gameplay right now, but they need to change something, and it is Steph Stewart looking to do the job here.
Well, try and get one of these 2 on with Michelle Davis next, and then get to the top of the lineup with Amber Hood.
Leaves that one inside now. Steph Stewart's got pretty good pedigree. Her mother, John Ann, is a life member out at the CDSA Association. She played in New South Wales and through the Gawler Association as well. So shout out to John Ann. Stephanie gets a shot to third base, but it's Kaisler again who does the fielding on the backhand side, fires the ball across for the out. So looking very confident in the field West Torrens Eagles. Let's have a look at that play. Ground ball. She crushed that one. One bouncing into the backhand of Lana Kaiser. She's had a couple of hot plays tonight.
Yeah, Lana Kaiser is terrific on those shots. Hit hard. She'll swat on them and throw you out.
All right, so Michelle Davis wearing the number 6 for the Hills Heat. She's batting number 9. 1-1 count here. Formerly a Port Adelaide Magpies player. That was over a decade ago, so she's got A-grade experience. Gets a ground ball past the pitcher and Maddie Scott. It was a slow roller that beat the pitcher. It came off pretty quickly, ended up being a slow roller. Shortstop Jordan Lambert breaking hard to her left, fielding the ball well and firing the throw across in time for the out.
Yes, she just gets to the ball so quickly, doesn't she? Right on top of the game. Now it's up to Amber. Amber, Emily and Georgia.
The top of the lineup really need to pull a couple of hits together for the Heels to get them back in the game right now. And keen to do so. Amber Hood swings at that high pitch and really it was a wild swing, slightly undisciplined, but you can't blame her for trying. She'll be trying to really help her team out. Just throws her hands at this one.
Amber's an aggressive player and that's the way she plays. It's been successful, so don't go away from it.
Well, let's have a look at her numbers. She's hitting .382 for the year with a .519 on-base average, 11 walks for the year as well, so 20 to go with 26 hits, Lee. I had to read that twice. There's only 24 games in the year. She's got 26 hits.
I can work the maths out on that, James. I think it's at least one hit per game. You'd take that, wouldn't you?
Every day of the week. Here we go. Maddie Scott, 2-2 count. Shakes that one off and she wants the pitch, different pitch to Hood, and it's high. It's another ground ball to Lana Kaiser, who has time to pump the ball into the glove before a casual throw over to first base for the 3rd out of the 5th inning, and the Hills are on the back foot, Lee, largely due to the strong defense of the Eagles and their powerful hitting.
Yes, and it's like shelling peas for the number 15 Eagles player, Lana Kaiser, terrific in that position at 3rd base. The hot corner, it is hot. Doesn't matter to her whether it's on fire, she'll still throw you out.
Perez has had a pretty good game at 3rd base as well, Lee. She's made a couple of good plays tonight, so it is all class in 3rd base tonight here at West Beach. Okay, Coach Hood is actually having a word to plate umpire Neville Lawrence here for perhaps there's a change being made. There is a change being made. We've got a new catcher. Lee Alex Mackey has gone to 2nd base. Kim Cutting moves from 2nd to shortstop where she started the season, which means that Amber comes behind the plate to catch.
I like that.
Well, the game's on the line, Lee. They've got to stop the bleeding. They've given up 4 runs. They can't afford to give up any more. And they still need to score 5 to get back into this game.
Yes, so something has to be done.
So Amber only gets to take a couple of pitches there and having a word to younger sister Georgia Hood. Kelsey Nucky's going to lead it off for the Eagles. She's already had a hit tonight. She's been one of the great, reliable performers for the Eagles and one of the standouts, Lee, for me in the whole competition. She's been ever reliable at first base, but she holds a spot in the batting lineup. She's versatile. She's been lead off. She's batted down as low as 5 or 6 in the order this year. She plays her role to perfection.
She's a great value for the Eagles, but interesting that it's one of my bugbears. I'm pleased to see Amber back catching because I think you need your best players where the ball is.
So
that's no discredit to Alex Mackey, who's a fine player, but Amber's hardly had a play at shortstop, and I just think that's a waste of a very good player.
Yeah, no disagreement from me there, Lee. Alex has been great behind the plate for the Hills Heat, particularly in the last few weeks and in the lead up to the finals. And Kelsey Nucky gets a good piece of this ball. It's going to go over Emily Hopkins' head. She's going to round first and stand up at second base. The Eagles are flyingly lead off in the bottom of the fifth, stands up at second base, and we are into the meat of the order for the Eagles.
Well, you just spoke about Kelsey Nucky tonight, and she's continuing on. That was hit really well. Looked like Emily had it covered, but it had more depth than that. So when the leadoff gets on with a double, there's trouble.
Now, she was patient as well, Lee. Lana Kayser up to bat now, who is also patient, watching that one on the outside edge. We spoke of that just last inning. You want the Hills batters, they're behind in the count, to see a few pitches. They were going after the first. Now we see West Torrens Eagle, who are in control of this game. Kelsey watches the first one, low in the zone, but called for a strike. Next one was a little higher, and she watched it as well. Oh, what a shot from Kayser. That's going to bounce off the Spacequake sports sign on the home run fence, scoring Nucky. She's turned for third, and she's going to slide in safely. The ball has gone to the fence. Georgia Hood is quickly over there to field it, but she's safe at home. 2-run score from the triple from Lana Kayser. She scores on the overthrow. They are 1 run away from winning this game, Lee. It is 6-0. Let's watch this replay. Naki was always going to score. That ball was absolutely rocketed off the bat. The throw came in, it went over the cutoff, it missed the third base. Naki scores. Let's watch Kayser here. She's going to come in. Here's the play. Cutting's the cutoff. Throw. She didn't throw it. No. She pumped to throw it. She saw the runner wasn't standing up at second, but heading for third. Did Kayser stumble there, or was it? Did you see a stutter in her step then, Lee?
No, she just probably run out of breath, I think.
Well, she got to third base.
That was the shot of the
easily
night.
Enough. Oh, that went off like a rocket. Yeah. Okay, Carly Allen, she can cause some damage as well. If she gets on base here, the game-ending runs is on, because we're in run rule territory. Of course, we've spoken about this a few times during the year. If the team batting second is up by 7 runs after 5 innings, the game is over, even in finals, Lee.
Yeah, well,
do you think the Hills know? They're 1 run away.
I think they've got too many other things to think about than worry about the score at this stage.
3 balls and no strikes on Carly Allen. She won't get a courtesy runner. There's no outs. Just playing with the pitcher and catcher there, squaring to bunt. No intention to do so, so just being a menace in the box now. The relentlessness of the Eagles on show tonight.
Well, the Eagles have said to the Heat, hunt leather, and that's what they've been doing, belting it out there.
Ball 4 to Carly Allen. She's had a fair few of those this year. She's mentioned that earlier.
Have to pitch her carefully.
She's not getting a courtesy runner, but she's getting a pinch runner. Here we go. It is Mackenzie Ween, Lee.
That's who it is.
Mackenzie Ween comes in off the bench for the West Torrens Eagles. So Dave Gooley bringing in his bench players into the game, and rightly so as well. Carly Allen is known for her hitting, and she's known for her catching, and she's known for her strong throw. She is a smart runner, Lee. She's a very good player, an experienced player, but bringing on a bit of a younger player and fresh legs, maybe.
I think so. She's been working hard behind the plate.
Also a good acknowledgement for the young players from the Eagles who are on the bench. Mackenzie Ween, no slouch, Lee. She's one of the Eagles under-17 players. She played for under-17s for South Australia and under-19s, earning a starting spot in the outfield.
So that's a fair effort, isn't it? Go up a grade and play at left field. I think she played at left field for the 19s, from memory.
She's got a few strings to her bow, Mackenzie Wynne. She pitched in a Hills Premiership last season. This season they had another pitcher, but she also takes the stripe once in a while in that competition as well. Okay. Game-ending run on first. Okay, so it's not the winning run, but it's the game-ending run, really. They're up by 6 at the moment. Runner on first with no out. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Maddie Scott up to bat. If she leaves this one, I'll pose a question to you, Lee. Watches it for a strike, so 2 balls and 1 strike. If you're Dave Gooley and you're 6 runs up, are you thinking of... Yeah, there's no need to bat Maddie Scott and risk anything. Anything could happen. I mean, I know you're not thinking negatively, but,
no.
You know, just take her out of the game. You don't... This one off the inside. End of the handle. It affects the ground ball. Mackenzie just stumbles there as she rounds second. She's safely aboard, though. Ground out to Maddie Scott. So no damage done, but, you know, the reason I asked, Dave Gooley had a couple of players on the bench there. So he could have gone to any one of them.
Just put her in cotton wool, is what you were saying, which is a fair point too. But you never know what can happen.
Yeah, and 6 runs up, you don't see them going down from here. Even if the Hills manage to stay in the game, getting out of this inning without giving up another run, even if they score another couple of runs, Lee, they're pushing it uphill at the moment to score 7 to win.
Yeah, that's true.
And they've only got 6 outs to do it in as well. Okay, so we just had a short timeout. Not sure what that was about. The coach didn't address the batter, but Alicia Marchenk it is up to bat. Mackenzie Wynne on second base. High for a ball. Now, Georgia really needs to find something here. She needs to dig deep and get her team out of trouble here, Lee.
Yes, the pace seems to be down a bit tonight. Whether it's the atmosphere, I'm not sure.
That one was fired in for a strike. It's a 1-1 count. She's all class, Georgia. I had the pleasure of getting to know her a little better over the last 12 months, Lee, and she's a wonderful person. And she's got the right stuff, Lee. That is for sure. And she's successful from the way that she plays and the person that she is. And I'm going to back her to get out of this inning here, Lee.
Good.
1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. That all-important runner on second base. Good shot from Alicia Marchand going opposite field. Steph Stewart and Alex Mackey just needed to communicate a little better there. She rushed the take in the end and ended up taking a bit of a chest mark there.
Well, yeah, it's in the book, but it had some worry about it, didn't it? But
so
she ran to the ball well, so that's good.
Mackenzie Wynne tagged up, but because it was a shallow shot to the outfield, she just tagged up and didn't chance the arm of the right fielder. So in the end, the out was made, and Stewart's taken a few tricky catches tonight.
Yeah, she's been in the play, hasn't she, a lot? Because of their hitting, the Eagles hitting.
So we've seen a re-entry of the catcher. Oh, I didn't know you could re-enter on the catcher speed-up rule.
No, well, I don't think we've seen it before, have we? Well, he's obviously asked.
Oh, there was less. There was less than 2 out, so it wasn't a catcher speed-up rule before. I did mention it at the time. It was a substitution. Carly Allen re-enters. Here we go, timeout, and we're going to get a catcher speed-up. Okay. So the method behind the madness. Dave Gooley is a switched-on individual, Lee. So we've now got a courtesy runner for the catcher speed up. We saw Carly Allen re-enter the game for the pinch runner so he could affect the catcher speed up rule to bring in the more experienced runner in Lana Kayser. And she could be the difference, Lee. You never know.
I'll just go, if you're looking for me, I'm just going to check on the roast.
So Jackie Bill returns to the left-hander's batter's box. Sitting 8 in the order. She batted left-handed for a running bunt. She batted right-handed for a sacrifice bunt. And now she's back in the left-handed batter's box with 2 outs. Another bunt attempt with 2 out. Gee, the confidence of Gooley. Confidence, maybe arrogance, Lee.
Very good point. I think with leading by 6 runs, you can afford to be confident and arrogant, can't you?
Both at the same time. A balance of the 2 of them, Lee.
Yes, I think we'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
So Jackie Bill still in the left-handed box. This time a running bunt attempt. You can really tell that she's applied to that trade, Lee. Just so much more confident on the left side. She's done it a fair bit this half of the season. And, you know, she looks like a natural at it.
Yeah, and as you said, James, it's about confidence when you bat opposite hand.
Chops at this one. Little bit of not miscommunication, but a little bit of doubt going between the 3 fielders. That ball was almost perfectly placed between, but it was Pippa Atkins who takes the catch at the end, and the Hills get out of trouble in the bottom of the 5th inning. They need to score some runs, Lee. I'm getting a little nervous here because, you know, I want a close game.
Yes, it's that's what we wanted, and that's what we thought we might get. But we also mentioned that we needed to get Hills off to a good start, didn't we? So, you know, they get a run of a couple of runs, get confidence. With the runs comes confidence, and you start taking chances. You take catches. You do everything you can, you know, because your confidence is up. It's no different than having a job. Like in your place at work, your employment, if you're confident in what you're doing, that's fine.
Well, there's a few smiles coming from Emily Hopkins and the Hills team, but they are back to the wall right now, Lee. She is the 2-hitter in the lineup, Emily Hopkins, who's had a strikeout and a line drive to Lana Kayser at 3rd base. So a first ball hitter, watching that one low for a ball. So this is what you wanted, Lee, last inning, and earlier on in the game. See a few pitches. Hopkins versus Scott. And that is outside for a ball.
Well, they've got the best part of their lineup hitting-wise. Hopkins, Hood, Georgia, and Pippa Atkins. So see what they can give us here.
So Scott and Hopkins are teammates for the Hills club that they play in at Torrens Valley, and you can see there's a little flavour of Torrens Valley in their uniforms, can't you? That little bit of red with the green. Low but in the zone for a strike. It's not automatic, but Lee, you see that strike zone from time to time open up a little bit with 3 balls and no strikes.
Yes, you do.
Ground ball to 3rd base. It's gone foul, so interesting to see the replay of this one. If it has bounced over the base, but Neville Lawrence in perfect position yet again, and that will load up the count. Courtesy of Spacequake Sports, we do have a replay of that one well over Kayser's head, and you know what, Lee, that was pretty close to the line.
8 centimetres wide, I think, maximum. That was very close.
Obviously the right call.
Well, Emily needs to get on here for the heat.
No question, it's full count, Lee. She's fouled that one off. Where's this one going?
Up the middle, she would be hoping.
Low for a ball, and the leadoff is on from a walk. They are rare for Hopkins. I'm telling you now, I have to turn the page to have a look here. Emily Hopkins, as I go down the order there, 1 walk for the year, Lee. Timely.
Very timely indeed, sir.
She had a similar amount for Seacombe last season, so ouch, what a shot. She smashed that one to the right side. It goes to the fence. Georgia Hood watching the ball as Emily Hopkins has to adjust her pants as she rounds third. She scores on the play. Georgia Hood stands up on third. She has smashed that one, Lee, and the Hills are on the board.
They're alive, the Hills, and my goodness, let out a bit of shaft.
They are alive with the sound of that crack off the bat. I'm telling you now, Lee, that ball was singing off the bat.
Jackie Beale was very deep and it cleared it, so it'll give you an idea how deep it was.
What a powerful shot. Now we've got Adkins, who's also aggressive. Smashes this one off the foot of Kelsey Nucky. She fumbles the ball. Is she okay though, Lee? Firstly, the ball has come off her foot or her leg. Then she had to dive for the ball, and then she had to dive for the base. The run is scored from third base. Georgia Hood scores the second run for the Hills. Let's watch that replay here. Smashes that one. We're going to see maybe even a collision there. Well done to Pippa Adkins, who did whatever she could to avoid collision there. I don't think that there was contact made. Well done to Nucky.
Well, we've seen the Heat put together a lot of safe hits in one innings. Is this the innings? Is this the one we're looking for?
They have. They've strung them together, haven't they? A walk. Look how pumped Georgia Hood is. The Hills have scored 2. There's none out. There's a runner on first. Here they come. Watching that one for a called strike, Lee, the Hills have shown such fight this season. Effectively knocking out Seacombe from the finals race. They came back twice against the Tigers during the year from plenty of runs down. Good bunt from Danny Perez. It has gone a little harder than she would have hoped. Straight back to pitcher Maddie Scott. She's happy with it herself, and that's the first out. So a sacrifice bunt to Perez. She's
good move.
Had a pretty good night. She bunted very well last Saturday. She had a couple of RBIs off a couple of bunts early before she had a towering blast to the outfield. Advance the runner. Okay, so they're looking to score a third in this inning. Cutting. Ooh. Aggression continues for the Heat. This is the Hills that we know, Lee.
Yeah, it is exactly. One innings where they can have a multitude of hits.
We're about 85 minutes. So effectively, this could have been the last inning if we were playing a time game. We're going the distance tonight, Lee.
We are.
7 innings for a result. Cutting goes again. This one got some height behind it. It's centre field and left field. Good communication. Amy Wheeler it is, the left fielder taking the catch. Surprisingly, the centre field pulled out of that one. Pippa Atkins has to stay at second. Surprised she didn't take a chance?
It's unusual for centre fielders. They like to take over in that situation. But well done by Amy. First chance of her catch. She's handled it well.
Well, if Cutting had got a bit more of that ball there, that one would have gone like a laser to the fence as well. But in the pick-off attempt from Carly Allen, Faith Picard just gets back to the base in time. What a good throw. Unexpected, and, you know, that could be the difference in a game as well. So good play from Allen. Okay, Alex Mackey off the end of the handle, fouling that off to the right side. So she got that inside pitch. Lee, we saw Kelsey Nucky chase that ball. She's pretty dusty from making that diving play back
Dusty
at the base.
Nucky. That may be her new nickname.
Dusty. I'm sure she'll like that one. Alex Mackey just gets that one back to the pitcher in Maddie Scott for the third out. So the Eagles show a little bit of balance, or they show a little bit of grit, and they fight their way out of that inning there. It all started well for the Hills. Back-to-back shots from Hood and then Adkins to score 2 runs. Emily Hopkins got aboard from the walk, a triple to Georgia Hood, and then it was a great shot from Pippa Atkins that ricocheted off first base Kelsey Nucky's leg.
Well, they'll take a lot out of that, James, and that comes under the heading of character building. We saw it then.
Yeah, we certainly did. Now, we saw the Eagles go to their dugout, to their bench last inning, and it looks like they're going to again in Ella White. Is that Brody? No, it's Brody Borovnik. Sorry, I thought I saw Ella having a swing before, but it's Brody Borovnik again. But they did go to their bench. They used Mackenzie Ween as a pinch runner. Who are the Hills got on the bench tonight, Lee? Talia LaRosa, Kelly O'Brien, Moretti as well's on the bench. So the Hills have got a couple of tricks left in the bag there. And gee, Talia LaRosa, former West Torrens player herself, played in a number of premierships under super coach Anthony Weatherstone. It was also a player of a grand final one year as well.
Yep, I think we might see her in the next innings.
Borovnik gets under this one. Alex Mackey has the play there. It's at the edge of the dirt, but that ball tailed away again, Lee. So it looked like she was under it. The ball got away from her leadoff runner on for the Eagles, and the right side of the diamond is playing havoc for the Hills.
Brody's been chipping away there, and she's finally got a result.
We're back to the top of the order now, though, Lee. Jordan Lambert up to bat. I saw her briefly before the game, Lee. She was confident, she was buzzing, no nervous energy. She was ready to go. Georgia Hood has a couple of runs to play with, but you know she does want to stop the flow of runs because the Hills have got some momentum here, Lee. The last thing that they wanted was to get that leadoff runner aboard.
I don't think she'll bunt here. I think she'll go hit.
That one very much on the outside edge, just off the plate. So good peepers there from Lambert, the number 7 for the Eagles. 2 balls and 1 strike, a great hitting count here for Lambert. She's got a good watchful eye. She's leading the Eagles batting averages this year, 407 with a 600 on-base average. I've just been handed a stat, Lee, from Seacombe coach Scott Radigan. Jordan had an 814 on-base average against the Tigers this season.
What do you put that down to?
Well, against the firepower of Jade Peterson, 160 odd strikeouts for the year, to have an on-base average of 814 is pretty impressive.
Sounds like the Seacombe show here right now.
All right, so runner aboard for the Eagles, and that to me looked like that Georgia and Amber worked in unison to get no balls near the strike zone for Jordan Lambert.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, 2 runners aboard. Faith Picard up to bat, squares to bunt, gets it down. Great play from Danny Perez. She pounced on that one, Lee. She had to move 30 odd feet to come in to grab that one. She was ready for the play. She anticipated runners in scoring position. 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. Kelsey Nucky up to bat. She's had a big game, Lee. A single to right field. That was an RBI shot. A double to centre field. She scored.
She's been great.
Oh, she wanted that one. It looked like she was going to go. She held the hands back and probably patient hitting.
Can she belt one deep to left field, near the line?
Hood into the motion, and Nucky just wants nothing to do with that inside pitch, and neither does umpire Lawrence. So Kelsey Nucky aboard with 2 hits. This is it. So far this game, she's up to bat for the 4th time and smashes this one down the left field line, and umpire Gray calls foul ball on this one.
What a lucky guess.
This is going to be centimetres in it. Kelsey Nucky just ripping the ball apart tonight.
That's her strength. that left.
She's had a couple of inside pitches. She got another one, and that one was foul. Good call from umpire Gray there on the statewide super replay. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Kelsey Nucky. 3 inside pitches. Hood sets up on the outside for this one. Well, not normally, but recent times we've seen Nucky go to the outside when she's had one on the outside edge. She goes opposite field, but this time just tries to pull this ball, probably just protecting the strike zone, not a hitter's count. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And also she would have been well aware of the shot she put down was just foul, and she'll be looking to emulate it.
It's the call, sets up outside again. Took a little bit off that one, Lee. You could see it came out of the hand a little differently, and it was very close to the outside edge. So he hit up a good spot, but just out of the zone. But a good area from Hood. 2 and 2, the count. 2 runners on. Bottom of the 6th. It's a ground ball to the pitcher, and that's going to be good enough for a 3rd hit of the night, Lee. It's an infield single to Kelsey Nucky. The plucky Kelsey Nucky got lucky on that one.
Not bad, James. No, keep working on them. I tell you what, though, this is the nature of the game, as I said at the start. Miss-hit the ball like that. That was a complete miss-hit. You get safe.
Lana Kayser up to bat. We remember her shot last inning, Lee. It went like a laser beam to left field, into the gap and centre left, and it was a triple that she scored on the wild throw. But if she can get another one to the fence here, she might end the game. Game-ending run on first. Low and out of the zone for a strike. Timeout is the call because Coach Gooley is worried about his batter in the on-deck circle. He's not wearing a helmet, so maybe they're helmet down in the dugout. No, the back girl's got one on. The next batter's got one on.
The shorter helmet. That's what it is.
They're not shorter. Oh, I can see 2 from here. Maybe there's one that she wants out there on base at the moment. Well, softballers are a superstitious bunch, Lee. Don't take away their equipment. Whether it's a batting glove, a dirty old batting glove with no grip in it, or...
somebody will have to answer for that.
Yeah. Hits this through the gap. Michelle Davis.
Look at the speed of Lambert.
Has to do the fielding there. What a shot from Lana Kayser. 2 more runs on the board. The lead is out to 6 again. The game-ending run standing on second base. Let's watch this replay. Lana Kayser smashes that ball left side. Gooley just sends Lambert. He didn't have to. She was always going to score on that shot to left field. Carly Allen up to bat now. She's got the helmet that she's after. Can she end the game with 1 swing of the bat? Low, but in the zone.
Well, she's normally up the middle hitter here, so that'll be enough, I would think.
She's an RBI hitter as well, Lee. She leads the team with 18. One of 6 players with more than 10 RBIs for the season for the Eagles. So they're top for a reason, and that is because they've got contributions from everyone in the lineup. And Carly Allen looking to ice this game right now. Bottom of the 6, up by 6, 1 out.
Well, it's a team game, and they're showing exactly what a good team will do.
Just poking at that one.
They have a terrific infield. West Torrens, they certainly got batters, bat a long way down.
1
We've
ball
seen it all
and
in
2
play
strikes.
tonight.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Doesn't want anything to do with the one on the outside there. She looked like she gave the pitch a dirty look on the way down. I'm not going to swing at you.
And now she's smiling. That's interesting.
2 and 2.
She won't go down looking, I tell you. If there's anything close, it's going.
It's a strikeout to Hood. So there hasn't been many tonight. There hasn't been many in the final series so far. I believe Gabby Schneider, the ace on the mound for Walkerville, only had 3 herself on Saturday night. We haven't seen many here, probably just the 3 to Georgia.
Maddie Scott again.
Maddie Scott been very serviceable, 299 batting average, 455 on base, 20 hits for the year. What a great contribution from young Maddie Scott. Not only has she pitched 139 innings prior to this game, so put her up to 145-ish, an ERA of 1.55, and she's got 20 hits for the year.
And she's certainly done her bit, and she's done a lot, hasn't she? No, she's been fantastic. We mentioned that before.
Not bad for a shortstop. Yeah. She plays shortstop for the South Australian and youth Aussie squads that she's a part of. And that one, a
it's
call
all
strike.
in the genes, you'd say. Helps, doesn't it?
Her mum was a good player, was she?
Her mother was a very good player. She would probably tell you she was a champion player, but she was a very good player. Don't get me wrong.
That is a shot that is going to end the game. Maddie Scott puts the ball to the fence. Kelsey Nucky scores. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the ball game. Preliminary final winners, West Torrens Eagles, will advance through to the Adelaide competition grand final this Saturday night, 7 p.m. It will be a live free-to-air television broadcast on Channel 44. West Torrens Eagles versus the Walkerville Cats as we watch the game-ending run cross the plate. Lana Kaiser scores for good fortune, or whatever it is. Maddie Scott stood up on third for a triple. The Eagles, absolutely dominant, 10 runs to 2 against a team that won in a mercy victory on Saturday night just 4 days ago against 4th place team Sturt Falcons. And the smile on Lana Case's face tells us the story. Look at the Eagles there. They're advancing through to the 2017-18 Adelaide competition grand final, brought to you by Spacequake Sports. Lee, it's going to be tough to think of a player of the game, but we've got to come up with one because we're going to have a post-game interview with the player of the game. It'll be the statewide super player of the game, Lee. Who's your player of the game?
Lana Kaiser, I think, without question. Kelsey Nucky was fantastic, as was Jordan, but Lana Kaiser for me. James?
All right, stay tuned. We'll grab Lana Kaiser if we can. And James Harris and Lee Hull joining you on Spacequake Sports. We'll see you on Saturday night for the grand final. It'll be the West Torrens Eagles versus the Walkerville Cats. Well, the West Torrens Eagles have had an emphatic victory over the Hills Heat to advance into this weekend's grand final. Lana Kaiser, statewide super player of the game. Congratulations, Lana. You must be feeling great right now.
Yeah, pretty stoked, and I think all the girls are as well. We're pretty excited for Saturday now. Yeah.
Well, player of the game for a reason. You had about 3 hits and a bunch of RBIs. You came out firing tonight.
Yeah, no, we were pretty excited. After Saturday's loss, we were pretty keen to show everybody that we've got what it takes to take the flag this year. So.
What's the talk been in the West Torrens dugout? I mean, you've lost your first game of 2018 against Walkerville, who have advanced by a single run. Did you advert from the game plan, or was it always going to be that?
I think last Saturday's game was just a great exhibition of softball in this state, and we didn't come off winners, but we took out a lot out of that game, basically just to keep doing what we're doing, because I think we're on the right path.
Emma Burridge to come into the side, so you're just going to get stronger?
Yeah, no, we lost Emma to a placement in Port Lincoln, so we also wanted to get across the line for her tonight so she could partake in the grand final.
Well, congratulations, Lana Kaiser and the West Torrens Eagles. You advanced through to the Adelaide competition grand final, back in grand final action, just a year or so off. So this will be about your 3rd grand final in the last 4 years?
Yeah, we're pretty stoked to actually get the flag this time. We've played in a few, so we're ready to take it all the way.
Looking for some grand final action and heroics from Lana Kaiser is the West Torrens Eagles. They ran out victors tonight over the Hills Heat to advance through to this Saturday night's grand final. We will be live on free-to-air TV on Channel 44, but you can also catch us on Spacequake Sports. So congratulations, Lana and the West Torrens Eagles. We'll see you on Saturday night.